Recording.
Well, hello there. This is a demonstration of applying what is a racing hinge on a wing between the aileron control surface and the wing itself. This aileron has been trimmed to a fine edge which will represent the fulcrum for the control surface against the wing, so that there shall not be a requirement of any space between the control surface and the wing to get it as close as possible. This is going on a wing that's approximately 70-80 inches in length. These pieces are 48 inches, overall. And it will eventually go down here on this piece. This racing hinge is a flat piece of material that represents a fusible fabric that actually has a sticky side, a plastic sort of fusible side that's activated by heat that will bond the material to the balsa wood of the wing and the control surface. And I've lined it up visually so that I have just a very minor space. It's not hard against, but just the minor space between the control surface. And if you look close enough, you can see that the space will be about this much, just as tight as it could be, just the slightest of space between there. And this fusible material is actually heat activated. So my iron is set at 250, and I'll actually put it on there 2 times. I'll tack it down, and you can see it immediately connects to the material and the wing. And I'm going to run down the length of this wing and control surface with this hot iron. It's set at 250 down to the end. And as I come back now at this end of it, I just want to make sure I get this consistent gap along the length of the control surface as this iron passes over, forming the hinge on the back side of the wing, the bottom side of the wing.
Recording.
Okay, we've put the first piece of material on the hinge, and we can see that there's plenty of motion with the hinge in place. And the second hinge piece will be set in place, abutting this together with just the slightest of overlap and lined up. All of this will be coated with monocoat in the end, completely hidden or covered. And again, I'm going to visually keep just the slightest of gap between the control surface and the base of the wing. And I'm going to begin here again with the fusing of the material to the wing surface. The iron is set at 250. This is the first pass. I will come back and seal this on a second pass at 300 degrees, just to ensure that it's absolutely sealed when I don't have to hold it in place quite so much, when I'm not so critical there. You can see this lays in tight and completely. I've also taken some Elmer's glue, wood glue, and this material is porous enough that you could dab glue onto the material, and it also dries and seals between the material and the wood. So if you're not comfortable, if you want to see the corners tacked down, however you want to do it to ensure even CA will saturate the material and bind the material and the balsa together. It's like, that would be like tacking it down if you wanted to. So now the hinge is in place, and you can see the amount of free motion this thing has as a control surface. I'm working with the iron one more time. I'm turning it up to about 350 degrees, and I'm going to go over this hinge one more time just to thoroughly tack it down. The material is rated for 350 degrees. The control surface and the wing are held flat so the iron touches the full width of the material and seals it to the balsa wood. And I can actually smell it, the glue, from the heat. And the hinge, the material becomes a little translucent while it's still hot. And I can see that here, and you can't see that on the camera, but and this is the final tack down of this material, which creates a hinge. And again, this is applied to the underneath side, creating a solid control surface, joint between the hinge, the control surface, and the wing. And that's it. The control surface movement is quite significant. I'll put a control horn on the other side, and the servo will actually be on the other side, off the top of the wing.